You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Be sure to smash that like button. A giant talking point here has been the fact that LSU threw for 85 yards against Auburn. And when you have all these receivers, which is the unquestioned strength of this team, everyone is looking and going, how? So Brian Kelly on Monday made some comments where he said, he essentially, I'm paraphrasing, but said, we need Jayden Daniels to recognize the difference between being aggressive and being reckless. So let me ask you, as a guy who played the position, obviously at the highest level, how do you toe that line and tell the difference? And can you actually get better at that?
Yeah, it sounds familiar to a pro team in town, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
sounds familiar. You see that movie on Sunday, and you've seen that movie with Jameis since he's been in the league. Then there is, and I don't know if it's DNA, if it's confidence. The thing is, I think Brian Kelly, as a whole staff, first of all, they got to look into, and players, is the passing game. Are they trying to do too much? I'm just throwing stuff out there. Are they trying to do too much? Do they simplify it? And I know there were you got to beat double teams and the rest of it. That's what great receivers do. Mm-hmm. We've seen that movie at LSU, and they know how to do it. But when you have two or three of them, it's tough to double them all. But are you preparing weekly as a player, watching and understanding how to watch tape and what you're looking for that allow you to be aggressive? I train guys all the time, and I was a buddies of mine who was a second-round pick in the NFL. He was 4 years into his career, and coach, he told me the story. Coach was up on the board, and he was going through something, and then they put the film on. He said, I don't know what that means. And the coach said, what? And he went to the coach and said, he didn't know how to watch tape. And I know that sounds crazy, but you'd be amazed at how many people don't know what they're looking for. I'm not saying Jayden, but there is a way to watch tape, and the reason I say that is when you go and watch the video of the game, the tape of the game, gives you more confidence of when to do just what you're saying. When I can be aggressive without being careless. And it is a fine line. But that helps you with, when you know who to get and how to get them, where to throw it, aggressive becomes easy. Being not only just aggressive, but being forceful, being pulling the trigger without hesitation and decelerating through the stroke because you're not sure, being unsure. I like aggressive. I like guys who get after it. But that doesn't mean careless, because if you know pre-snap, post-snap, what you're looking at, whether that's simplifying it for them, whether that's making sure they're studying, whether it's the way you're teaching it, or if there's too much and you got to scale it down to have bigger plays. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, was it last week? I can't remember where I read it, Matt. I think their longest pass play against a top power team is like 30-plus yards to a running back. I think.
That was.
Am I crazy?
Well, this past week they ran a wheel route that went for I think 39 yards right? To Emory. Yep.
Yeah, okay. But I don't think we've had one longer than that. My point is that it's not just the Saturdays when you say, oh, man, they're not taking shots. And Jayden Daniels, to his credit, great feet, and you're going to lean on the crutch, which we've talked about on here. But what happens is you watch him, he's not getting through. Once in a while, he'll get to the second guy, third guy, fourth guy. But if you don't trust what you worked on during the week, and you don't trust that they're going to win on a regular basis, vertical or down the field, the safe play is to use your legs as the check down, and we know what kind of runner he is, or to play it safe. When you can be aggressive is when you can anticipate not only the throw, but what they're doing by watching tape. For instance, if 80% of the time, Auburn last week, Tennessee this week, plays too deep zone when you cross midfield, you should in your mind start to get through two deep beaters. In your mind as a quarterback saying, okay, well, how do we vertically attack them? Well, the bender down the field, the verticals up the sideline like all verts. And, well, if they do this, you got to play the game in your mind. Now, I don't know if he is. This is just me from a distance watching because, listen, and when you know where to throw it, you're not going to throw it to three guys. You're going to get tip balls and drop balls like they did last week, but you have to during the week. The game is the gravy. All the hard work and studying at 10 o'clock and 10:30, because one key may allow you to throw three deep balls. And regardless if you complete them, you've got to take shots, smart, calculated shots. So it may be a combination of a lot of things, but a quarterback's DNA or his mindset has to be, I cannot be afraid to pull the trigger. And when you're afraid to pull the trigger is when you're not sure what they're doing with coverage. And that's why leading up to the game and all the pre- and post-snap stuff, you have to get into mind, because we all lean on. For me, it was an arm strength. If I had a small window, or I was going to take a mile of it, right? Try to, and sometimes get in trouble. But you've got to know when. It sounds easy and it sounds so simple, but it really is when it comes to, if you know where to throw it, you will not hesitate on taking shots. Because if you don't, the college football defenses in that SEC are way too good for you to be late. I'll say it one more time. In high school, the windows are about 10 yards, and you just got great ability. You can throw late. And you don't even study tape, some of these kids. They're just athletically good, or their coach tells them where to throw it. College, it shrinks, 5 yards, 4 yards, 3 yards. SEC, it shrinks even more. And when you get to the NFL, if you can't throw to a coffee can-sized window on time, you're not going to make it, and you're not going to last. So that's what he's facing, and they got to find it out, because 80 yards ain't going to do it. I assure you this week, if they throw for 80 yards, they're going to get curb stomped. Defense will have to keep them in the game. But you're talking about a Tennessee team. This is different. They play fast. They play furious. Hooker's one of the best players in the country right now, and they are going to they're going to try to get your defense playing fast. And, Matty, the attitude going into this can be very simple, and it could cause you problems. It can be good, but the attitude going into this is, okay, let's play it safe. As a quarterback, let me just use these things. I don't need to take shots, because I don't want to go a quick 3 and out and be chasing down 21-0 against the team, even though it's at LSU and it's going to be packed. Tennessee is different this year. This ain't the Tennessee you've been used to seeing. This is a different team. So you're going to have to match them sometimes with your offense, because if you play scared, I got news for you. Scared money don't make money when it comes to playing a team like this. They are real on the offensive side of the ball.
Hey, Sean, how would you defend Tennessee?
I was talking about this with a buddy of mine last weekend, thinking about Tennessee and what they do, and guys like Hooker who are really, really good, and you see his confidence growing. He was one of my guys to watch this offseason, and he's actually he's not just flashing, he's flashing and staying, and Heupel's got him going good. You know what, for me, you can't. Their tempo is furious. It is furious. If you can get a few 3 and outs and slow them down, but when they get going 7 yards, boom, they're at the line of scrimmage and they're going. If they're playing fast and they're dealing cards like that, man alive, are they good? 2 things you got to do, and it's going to be easier said than done. You better hit him, and you better hit him when he comes down the line on RPO. When he's in the pocket, you better unload, and you better hit him. It's not even the sacks; it's the hits. Legal and fair, but you better get after it. And 2 is, this is a team that you say, okay, like the Michael Jordan. I'm not saying Hooker's Michael Jordan, but is it all right? Take your best. Try to let one guy get his 40. And not let Ron Harper, Scottie Pippen, and somebody else get 28, 32, and 19, right? So how do you do that? I don't know. A lot of times I can take your best player away if he's a wide receiver, if he's a running back. But when he's this cat, he's different. So you got your work cut out for you. And I always say this: we'll keep him on the sideline. That's going to be if you don't make the throws we're talking about, Daniels, and play like that. I don't know if you can line up and run the ball constantly all the game, go 4 drives, 80 yards against Tennessee. Even if you do, Matty, here's the problem. You blink and they may score, and you'll be back on the field. So you're going to have to make some big plays and explosives in the passing game. But how would I play them? I don't know. Take the doggone spark plugs or whatever they got under the team buses these days so it doesn't start. I don't know, because I don't anticipate this game being 14-10.
Right.
They're going to run. They're going to try to run 90 plays. They are. They're going to try to. What they want to do. Here's another thing: is beat you into submission conditioning wise. They want to run. It's remember the Lakers Showtime with Magic and that group. They want to take the ball off the glass and push. They're they don't believe in playing half court football. That's not the way they're playing. They are going to go. So now I'm not crowning them the champions, but I'm just telling you. If people think this is the old school Tennessee, you got another. This is an offensive mind who wants to beat you by 40. He's got go for the throat stuff in him, and he's not going to stop. So you better hit the quarterback, and that better be every time he comes down the line or has that football in his hand. And when he lets go of it, you got to hit him, and you got to let him know 20 times in this game that you're around.
Man, I wish it was Saturday night. It would be an incredible atmosphere.
Oh my gosh, dude! I thought, man, I want to see this in person. 11 o'clock game makes it difficult, but I got news for you. I ain't moved from the TV to watch this one. And I'm anxious how Jayden matches that, because it's also easy on the sidelines to look at a quarterback and say, you're watching the other team's quarterback instead of concerned about the defense. I want to know if he's in a comfort zone with his feet, or if he says, you know what, I'm going to take it to another level, make the throws. He will have to play like he's going to have to expand his game this week, and so is Brian Kelly with this team, in order to keep up with this offense, because they will go, man.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.